Hi, this is Jason with Huck Adventures. Xero Shoes sent me a pair of their XCursion Fusion to try out, and it is their waterproof hiking boot. And I have to say, I have been in love with this shoe since getting it, especially getting it in the middle of winter out here in Colorado. While it hasn't been super snowy, it's been a great shoe to just walk around in the mountains because you're getting a mixture of snow, ice, mud, and it handles extremely well. When Xero Shoes first came out with their very first boot, which was the Daylight Hiker, I was quick to add it to my collection, but it never really became a tried and true hiking boot, mainly because it didn't have the lugs and the traction that this boot has. So this boot has 3.5 millimeter lugs on the bottom for really, really great traction overall. Whether walking in snowy conditions or ice, now I'm not running in this, but with some sure footing, even on ice, this shoe does hold up. So some of the things I wanted to point out as well is that with the lacing system, you have these metallic pieces here for making sure that your laces are nice and tight, which is great, especially when you are in snowy conditions and don't really want your foot to be slipping. But the other piece as well, so Xero Shoes, since their beginning, has always had this Huaracha style design. And even with their Daylight Hiker, the straps were usually on the outside of the boot. But with some of these newer models, which includes XCursion Fusion, the Huaracha style design is built into the shoe. Now, it's still functional because you can still tighten and pull up on these straps here to adjust your fit. But having it built in, on one hand, helps with the waterproofing for this particular boot, but it also makes sure too that it's still functional, but without it being on the outside, it adds this extra sense of durability on this shoe. So the other thing I wanted to touch on as well is that even though it does have these lugs, you don't lose any of the barefoot feel. Still walking on rocks, the boot is still highly flexible. But even walking on rocks, you're still feeling what you're walking on. That barefoot sense does not completely go away with this boot. So bottom line, one, love it. It's a great boot. Fits well too. This is a men's 11, which is kind of my normal size with Xero Shoes, so it does fit true to form. But I mean, this has been my go-to boot over the last several weeks since I got this to test. It's been on several hikes. It's been to my work office. It's been just on walks around the neighborhood. It's great. The waterproofing side of it, pretty amazing as well. So haven't had any issues having my foot, standing in a bank of snow, and my socks are still dry, which is great. So again, highly recommend. This is the XCursion Fusion. And thanks again to Xero Shoes for letting me give this a try.